With Lucasfilm Games beginning a new era of Star Wars, it looks like EA is still wanting to put out multiple titles in the Star Wars franchise, and one may even come out this year. Let's talk about it.
Have you seen Star Wars?
So there are new rumors surfacing this week that EA is making another Star Wars game that will actually be a smaller scale shooter that surprisingly will release this year. And we're going to get more into the report itself, but first off, I do want to note that you could take this report with a grain of salt, since this user did come from Reddit. This is where the rumor started from, and many think this user is unreliable. And I normally would agree and just, not even make a video about this, but I think it's noteworthy that this is the first person who scooped that Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2 are going to be ported over to the modern generation of consoles, and over the next few days, more credible sources did confirm this. So, he is 1-1 when it comes to his track record on actual scoops. He's got that right so far. I think it's a fair shot to give him a chance with this scoop. But what are the details that he gave us for this upcoming Star Wars game that is supposed to come out this year? First off, it's being made with Unreal Engine 4, and it's been in the works for about 2 years now. It will also be a shooter, but the person's unsure if this is going to be a first-person shooter or a third-person shooter. And then lastly, it's going to be released this year in Q4, so that means between October 1st and December 31st. And they also mentioned that it's going to be a smaller-scale Star Wars game, similar to Squadrons that released last year, which I'll talk about a little later, but that does kind of give me a not great feeling. What makes this sound legit to me is that it has the release date that EA has gone for over the past few years when it comes to Star Wars months. They have often released in November when we look at Battlefronts 1 and 2, and in December, and then the earliest was Star Wars Squadrons, which released last year in October. So EA always has their Star Wars titles releasing in Q4, so that lines up with what history has shown so far. Now, being a shooter makes me wonder what this is going to be about in what era. Is there going to be a campaign, and if this is going to be 100% multiplayer, because that sounds like something EA would do if it's a shooter and it's a small scale game. Also, this news, like I said, does make me a little nervous, mostly because I've played Star Wars Squadrons by EA Motive and I wasn't overly impressed. It's fun, but it's meant for a certain genre of gamers. It doesn't seem to appeal to mass audiences, and I personally have not played the game since 2020, and I imagine a lot of you are in the same boat. I actually want to hear your thoughts on Squadrons as it stands today in the comment section below. So if this next game is a shooter, it's likely going to appeal to more gamers than Star Wars Squadrons did. Plus, if it has that $40 price tag that Squadrons had, that's also a big bonus in my eyes, and likely one of the reasons Squadrons sold so well is because you're like, it's a Star Wars game from EA and it's only $40. If they do the same thing with this game, I think it's going to be a big selling point for the game. But is this what we want from EA? A few AAA titles like Battlefront and Jedi Fallen Order every few years, and then small-scale, forgettable Star Wars games that are a little cheaper? I think not. I think it's not a bad model for EA, but the only game that EA has really delivered on for me is Jedi Fallen Order. My big fear is that this game is going to come out, and a lot of gamers and a lot of Star Wars fans are going to say, wow, EA worked on this small-scale Star Wars shooter that I don't care about, that I don't want. Why didn't they just use this time and resources on a third Battlefront? And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that won't happen. Maybe this game releases and we all enjoy it and it does really good. Then I'll give EA some credit because they gave us another Star Wars game this year. We are already getting LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga in the spring of this year. A second Star Wars game that releases later in the year would make this a great year for Star Wars video games, or just Star Wars in general, because of all the content we're going to be getting with the shows. Plus, there's also been some rumors from a credible source called Bespin Bulletin, who's gotten a lot right in the past, and they did say a bounty hunter game is in the works, but they never clarified and said if it was from EA or someone else, because I think they don't even know either. Maybe this is the game that they were being told about. Maybe later this year we get a bounty hunter Star Wars game that's just an action shooter, which is honestly something that would be a nice change of scenery over there for the Star Wars games. Imagine we get to play a bounty hunter in a small campaign where we just do a few heists or jobs with the bounty hunters of the galaxy. It could be a quick 10-hour campaign where we have a big job, we do it, and that's kind of the campaign. It would be pretty cool for a story, and like I said, there's something to parody. It hasn't been really done before. I feel like there's a lot of opportunities for Star Wars games right now, and great Star Wars games, great stories to be told in the video game realm, and Jedi Fallen Order is proof of that. So hopefully EA can pull off another good one, because they kind of need it. After the announcement of Lucasfilm Games and that EA had lost their exclusive license, it kind of seemed like EA lost the good graces of the Star Wars gaming community. Most people are looking forward to the Ubisoft game and the Knights of the Old Republic remake, which are both not being made by EA, they're being made outside of EA. It's almost like we're all turning our backs on EA, and they're trying to redeem themselves in the eyes of the Star Wars fans and the gamers around the world. And a good way of doing that is releasing a Star Wars game every year and making a few of them small scale and really cheap. Star Wars Squadrons was $40, and shortly after that, a lot of deals came out, and it was half price, I think, on Black Friday around Christmas time, and even today you can probably still get it for a discount. So maybe EA can turn the ship around, and this game is not even the start of that. I think Battlefront 2 was the start of them turning things around, and Jedi Fallen Order from Respawn was a big one too. They still have Jedi Fallen Order coming out next year, so we'll have to see how things are at the beginning of 2023 to really see how people look at EA and the Star Wars games they've made. Because as it stands right now, if we get another Star Wars game from EA this year, that's really good in their eyes, and I guess most gamers' eyes, because that means they put out a Star Wars game every year since 2019. Because 2019, Jedi Fallen Order, 2020, Star Wars Squadrons, 2021, whatever this shooter game may be, and then 2022, Jedi Fallen Order, and we don't know if they're going to do something in 2023. So, that would be 4 games in a row if they are able to pull this off, but until then, it seems like we may get a new shooter from EA this year, and I have to know, does that excite you? What do you want it to be about? And do you think a small-scale shooter is a good idea from EA? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you all for watching. If you like this video, please give it a like or a comment, because it does help out the channel. If you enjoy Star Wars Only, become an Only fan and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on the latest news on Star Wars. I'm Star Wars Only. I will see you all next time, and may the Force be with you always.